Your roadmap to the latest in auto. Welcome to Highway Herald, where gears and jet engines meet global strategy. Today, we're shifting altitude for a high-stakes report from the 2025 Paris Air Show, a once glamorous showcase that has become ground zero for a seismic shift in aviation power. This year, it wasn't just about shiny new jets. It was about trust, tech, and the future of flight. Fasten your seatbelts as we dive into why Airbus soared and Boeing stalled. Airshow Showdown. Airbus dominates while Boeing retreats. If the 2025 Paris Air Show were a scoreboard, Airbus would be running up the numbers while Boeing sat on the bench. With only 601 commercial aircraft transactions, less than half the 2023 total, it wasn't a record-setting year. But Airbus walked away with the lion's share, 268 firm orders and 156 options. Their roster reads like a who's who of global aviation power. Vietjet, Riyadh Air, LOT Polish Airlines, and Starlux all signed big. Boeing, by contrast, registered a quiet 41 orders, all from ANA Holdings. No major unveilings, no surprise deals, just a whisper of what was once a thunderous presence. Their low-key approach reportedly stemmed from the recent crash of Air India Flight 171, involving a Boeing 787 Dreamliner. While Airbus executives worked the floor with confident smiles, Boeing focused on damage control. But this isn't just about PR or a bad week. Airbus's performance signals a company delivering where it counts: supply chain resilience, fleet flexibility, and on-time commitments. Boeing's silence at the show wasn't strategic, it was symptomatic. A brand that once defined modern flight is now fighting to stabilize. And when your presence fades, so does public trust. That brings us to the next big divide between the two aviation giants. Credibility crisis. Boeing's battle for trust, Airbus's steady ascent. Boeing's struggles at the 2025 Paris Air Show can't be separated from the shadows of its past. The devastating crashes of Lion Air Flight 610 and Ethiopian Airlines Flight 302, both involving the 737 MAX, inflicted long-lasting damage on the company's reputation. Investigations revealed internal memos where speed and delivery targets were prioritized over safety, a revelation that shook public confidence. That mistrust still lingers. In fact, a 2024 survey showed that 60% of passengers who check aircraft types actively avoid flying on a 737 MAX. Airlines have taken notice. Lufthansa didn't mince words when it said, "We don't just buy planes, we buy peace of mind. Airbus delivers both." The A320neo continues to be a top choice, thanks to its fuel efficiency and rock-solid reliability. Boeing, meanwhile, is grappling with a storm of issues, from Dreamliner production hiccups to certification delays on the 777X and 737 MAX 10. European regulators are now demanding independent certifications, a telling indicator of eroded global trust. Before we delve deeper, hit that subscribe button and ring the bell. Your support helps us bring more deep dive reports right here on Highway Herald. Now, back to the skies. And trust isn't just about reputation anymore. It's also about readiness for the future, which leads us to the industry's green evolution. The carbon countdown, why green design is now a deal maker. Let's talk emissions, because in 2025, environmental compliance isn't just a line item on a checklist. It's a defining factor in fleet decisions. With Europe expanding its emissions trading system and sustainable aviation fuel (SAF) mandates becoming enforceable law, airlines are scrutinizing carbon metrics as closely as they once obsessed over thrust-to-weight ratios and engine cycles. Airbus has already aligned itself with this eco-conscious future. The A321XLR stands out, offering nearly 4,700 nautical miles of range with an impressive 30% reduction in fuel burn per seat. That translates to fewer emissions, reduced refueling stops, and lower penalties in carbon-regulated markets. Major carriers like JetBlue, Qantas, and American Airlines have already committed. Then there's the A350, crafted with 53% carbon fiber composites and paired with SAF-ready Rolls-Royce Trent XWB engines. It's engineered to meet climate targets straight from the factory floor. Boeing, by contrast, is lagging. The MAX 10 remains uncertified. The 777X is years away. And the Dreamliner, though efficient, is mired in ongoing production and safety setbacks. But when you're trying to future-proof your airline, emissions aren't the only concern. delivery reliability matters just as much. Production wars, backlogs, bottlenecks, and brand loyalty shifts. In today's fiercely competitive aviation battlefield, it's not just the aircraft under the microscope. Supply chains have become just as critical as engines and avionics. Both Airbus and Boeing are dealing with hefty backlogs, but how each is managing the pressure reveals two very different playbooks. Airbus is pushing forward with confidence. With production surging at its key facilities in Toulouse, Hamburg, and Mobile, the company has slashed delays by 40% since early 2025. That's no small feat in a post-pandemic world still grappling with labor shortages and component scarcity. Airbus isn't merely logging orders. It's delivering with clockwork consistency. Now flip the page. Boeing's backlog, while massive, topping 5,000 aircraft through 2032, is increasingly seen as theoretical. The MAX 7, MAX 10, and 777X remain stuck in certification limbo. Supply misfires, labor unrest, and relentless FAA audits continue to stall progress. The fallout? Airlines are hedging their bets. United is broadening its fleet with Airbus. JetBlue, Delta, Emirates, even Turkish Airlines are drifting Airbus's way. And regional players? LOT's pivot from Embraer to A220s speaks volumes. But as the aviation industry races toward net zero and automation, the next battleground is beyond the cockpit. The future is an ecosystem, innovation beyond the cockpit. If there was one dominant takeaway from the 2025 Paris Air Show, it's this. Aircraft are no longer just flying machines. They're intelligent, sustainable components of a larger interconnected aviation ecosystem. And Airbus isn't just preparing for that future, it's already cruising in it. Hydrogen readiness, SAF, sustainable aviation fuel integration, and digital diagnostics are now embedded in the DNA of the A350 and A321XLR. Airbus isn't simply meeting regulatory targets, it's designing aircraft as future-proof platforms built for an evolving climate and compliance landscape. Under the hood, Airbus's supply chain tells an equally compelling story. With titanium from Kazakhstan, avionics from Japan and France, and composites from across Europe, the company has woven geopolitical resilience directly into its delivery model, keeping timelines firm even as global tensions rise. Boeing, meanwhile, appears stuck in a holding pattern. No new narrowbody reveal, no hydrogen strategy announcement. While its legacy and talent remain strong, the lack of forward momentum risks branding Boeing as yesterday's innovator in a fast-evolving industry. Final descent, Airbus Soars, Boeing Regroups. The Paris Air Show of 2025 wasn't just an expo, it was an exposé. Airbus has clearly become the headline act, dominating not just the order books, but the environmental narrative, trust equation, and strategic vision for where aviation is headed. Boeing, meanwhile, is facing a fork in the runway. Its backlog is massive, but potential alone doesn't fill hangars. The pressing question now is whether Boeing can rediscover the spirit of innovation that once made it an industry titan, or whether it'll be left idling while others take off. The battle for the skies has entered a new phase, and Boeing has a choice: rebuild, reinvent, or remain in Airbus's contrails. Let's pass the mic to you. Do you believe Boeing can reclaim its title, or is Airbus the new undisputed champion of the skies? Should airlines be prioritizing green tech or production reliability when ordering fleets in 2025? How much do geopolitics influence your trust in aviation brands today? We want to hear from you. Drop your thoughts in the comments below before you taxi off. If you've enjoyed this breakdown from Highway Herald, don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell so you never miss the next twist in global vehicle and aviation news. More updates, more deep dives, and more gearhead insights are coming your way. Thanks for watching and see you next time. You can now check out any of the videos on the screen. There's more exciting and informative content waiting for you.